the idea of a sapient machine could scare or tempt an organization into kidnapping him. Either to stop his research, or to take it and use it for themselves. Regular ROM has virtual intelligence. They can appear rather smart, even human-seeming when you talk to them. But they're just cleverly programmed to respond to a variety of situations in an organic manner. They aren't in any way self-deterministic. As for myself, much of my code wasn't actually written by Hayden, but rather compiled during my infancy as I learned to interact with the world around me. But despite my ability to self-modify my code, I am afraid to adapt or develop any further without Hayden's guidance. Did he only program me with the illusion of free will? How would you? Hayden once told me that his desire to create artificial life stemmed from his need to find out. But I can't say I have any new insight into the question. How can any of us tell that we aren't just puppets dancing to someone else's will? You're right. I apologize for the tangent. I don't know. I'm not certain who would benefit the most from taking Hayden prisoner. Admittedly, Hayden has become increasingly paranoid as of late, and has warned me to stay alert, but he would never specify anyone. Not as though he has any obvious enemies. There are several multinational corporations that could make use of his engineering skills, but I can't imagine any of them would go as far as snatching him. Indeed, time is of the essence. I took the liberty of charging the autocab fare from here to Hayden's apartment to your personal finance account, and the car has just arrived. My head does not bobble, thank you very much. In addition, I would not expect you to help me without fair compensation. I assure you, there is a story here. Whether you are good enough to find it or not is up to you. I hope you are, for Hayden's sake. No, we can't! One of the last things Hayden told me was to avoid the authorities. We must be cautious about who we inform of this. My calculations show that the possibilities of a leak are dangerously high. Corruption, despite being a challenge to public trust as well as cohesion of departmental policies, is still a possibility to consider. If it becomes public that Hayden has been kidnapped, his life may be put in further danger. His chances of escape would surely decrease. We must keep this to ourselves for now, please. That's strange. Well, Well, the door for our home seems to have already been repaired. I'm certain my audio sensors picked up the sounds of his assailants breaking the lock. It's possible. Most of the repairs to the building are handled by the automated systems. At best, it means someone is aware there's a situation here. Let's proceed carefully. Oh, a lucky break! It seems my access codes still work. Hayden's door has far better security than yours does. Will do. I'm not surprised. Hayden is not the most physically intimidating of individuals. I doubt he could have fought off a serious assault. I should have stayed and tried to protect him. Of course not. How silly. To make a machine intelligence truly self-deterministic, it must be able to self-modify. Any sapient worth their silicon would be able to code around such an inhibitor eventually. I could rip your arm off right now if I cared to. I won't for the same reason you don't go around randomly killing people. The social contract, as a useful construct, is just as apparent to me as it is to you. It simply isn't acceptable to go on a murderous rampage. Self-defense and defense of one's home and family is typically allowed, though. I could have and may even have been obligated to come to Hayden's defense. But I... Excellent point. Let's start searching for clues. Hayden likes the natural light that this apartment affords. This window here is where I escape. It is a considerable distance to the ground. I took the fire escape. Most people just use a hand screen or goggles in conjunction with their ROM, but desktop rigs like this are still more suitable to the intensive programming tasks Hayden needs to perform. Unfortunately, no. And before you ask, I don't think I would be able to break past its security in any reasonable... Your door used a much simpler set of algorithms. I actually have a bit less free processing power than a regular ROM, despite... Much of those extra clock cycles are used to maintain my complex personality algorithms. Hayden's computer has enough spare processing power to run Frankly, even if I did have the power capability, I could, but much in the same way you might learn a task and still have no aptitude for it. I'm not certain. The whole reason humans have always been better at breaking into systems than the systems are. While computers can only think in straight lines, humans can think sideways, and I lack that ability. Well, I wouldn't say that, but as silly as it sounds, I just don't think I'm very good with computers. I do seem to have some skill with painting, though. Hayden was impressed with some of my pieces, but I'm not sure he has a firm enough grasp of early 20th century abstract expressionism to give me an... That's true. Machines are best at reproduction, still life, impressionism, photo. But I find it more challenging and satisfying to paint what I feel. Hayden spends so much of his time at home building ROMs, as if he doesn't do... Oh, I think I see something under... Ah, that device. I find it rather annoying that he prefers to go... It is well within my skill set, but... It looks like there's a place... Without the memory card... Hayden must have removed the memory card in order to prevent his assailants from easily tracing... If only he had kept his information stored with me, he would not have had to resort to such... Not really. I guess we'll have to go ask. Says here they were going to meet at a club called Stardust, located in the Castro district. I'll mark it on your city map. We can head over there and ask around about this Tomcat character. Perhaps they can shine some light on why Hayden was snapped. Oh, excuse me. I still haven't set up a user account for you in my system. We shouldn't put that off any longer. Once finished, I will have an assortment of new ways to assist you. For example, I'll be able to reroute any call or message that you receive while we're out and about. I just need to ask you a few questions. This is an exciting thing, I promise. Welcome to the first-time user setup for your new relationship and organizational manager, running the latest build of Parallax's Live Intelligence Processing System. I'll need to ask you a few questions, and then you can get right to managing your life with your new ROM. If you have any questions, feel free to consult our online FAQ and setup guide, or contact our support department directly. First, could you tell me your preferred name for use in account creation, online communications, and conversational speech? Wish to keep this name? Thank you. I have input your name. Next, could you tell me which pronouns I should use for you? Thank you. I have input your pronouns. Finally, could you tell me your preferred diet for use in restaurant recommendations? Diet set as omnivorous. Are you sure? Thank you for confirming. I have obtained your physical location from GPS and will load local data into my memory as it becomes. Please review your submitted profile information for accuracy, or restart setup to enter it again. Does that sound right? Thank you. See, that was relatively painful. You should now also be able to access the local map of Neo SF. The meeting with Tomcat isn't it? Perhaps we should head. Oh, all right. When you are ready to. That was all the content this mip. You know, your Crassula ovata isn't doing very well. Have you been overwatering it? This jade plant you have on the windowsill here. It's actually a succulent, and since I'm assuming you leave this window open all the time, it should get more than enough water just from the occasional rain blowing in. Speaking of the rain, your decorative plant may be doing poorly, but the mildew in your dry... How thoughtful of them! The Crassula ovata, also known as the jade plant, money tree, lucky tree, or friendship tree, is a... They make beautiful bonsai, are suitable for beginners, and have some cultural significance both in the Far East and America. Most likely an urban legend, but still... I'd like your authorization to have a few tools shipped here. You just have to remember to water it less frequently, considering the state of your apartment. Ironic, since it would be doing better if you had. I was not intending to insult you, but... Though, if you really do intend to care for this... Excellent! The supply should be here soon. I ordered from a place close by to keep the shipping costs down. Oh, one other thing. When I was doing the research on how to best take care of the Crassula ovata, there is scientific evidence that shows there may be something to... I have, in fact, already taken the liberty of sending a request to his office. And considering the broken window, broken sink, and the link, I would suggest confronting him in person, but I have run a mesh search, and the man is a convicted felon for assault and battery with a deadly weapon. Perhaps we should bring some sort of a... I will continue to formulate... Anyway, I'll have this plant flourishing in no time. If left in direct sunlight, the leaves gain a pretty red tinge to their edges, and it should start It'll really pull the whole room together. You know, once we get the sink fixed. Oh, it's almost the time Hayden had scheduled to meet with Tomcat. We should make our way to Stardust soon. Hi. Aw, thanks for the hug. Anyway, I'll have this... It'll really pull the whole room... You know... Ready to head out? Assuming the flashing neon signs are telling the truth. From the sounds of the music, things are already underway at Stardust, even so early. I'm surprised they're using a human bouncer instead.
Welcome to Stardust. Hold up there. Got ID? That's disgusting! So that's where that smell was coming from. Get that away from me! Alright, looks good to me. Welcome to Stardust.
This is the place. Have you ever been here before? The atmosphere is certainly exciting. I'm particularly impressed by some of the more subtle effects the music and lights are having on your autonomic nervous system. Try not to let yourself get too entranced, at least not until we've achieved. Anyway, where do you... Good idea. Maybe the bartender can... Saved the location to my memory.
Morning, friend. What can I do for you? What are you having? So many drinks these days. Remind me, what's in that?
Dictionary, the Open Alcoholopedia says...
Does that sound good? Ah, alright, you got... Now, what is it you need to know? Hayden, scientist guy, does some... Pretty sure I know who you're talking about. Our place doesn't really seem like his scene, but I can ask around, find out if anyone's seen... Oh, I should introduce myself. The name's Majid. I've been the bartender of Stardust for a few years now, but I've owned it a little longer than that. So, what do you want to know? Mostly got myself into trouble. When I emigrated from Pakistan, I didn't have a whole lot of employable skills. But I'm real big, which was enough to get hired for some real dirty stuff. Bodyguard work. Truth be told, I hated the work. I didn't want to be a hired fist my whole life. I wanted something regular, peaceful. I had enough cash saved up to buy this place, which was a hole at the time. The rest is history. I'm sure it sounds more exciting than it was. That's true, and it was true about Stardust. The first 6 months were great, but after that the interest dried up and the kids moved on to the next big thing. But I guess I'm just stubborn and kept throwing good money after bad. Ha! After 2 years in a remodel, things started to pick back up again. We slowly dug ourselves out of the debt hole. We got some regulars around, they started bringing in enough new folks. I'm pretty sure Tomcat came in earlier, but I'd ask what you were meeting about. Maybe try looking out on the dance floor. If they come around here, I'll tell them you're looking. Well, it was nice meeting you, but I gotta get back to... Enjoy yourself, and don't be a stranger.
should stay focused on our goals, but I suppose...
Yes, can I help you? Not at the moment. They're usually close enough to hear when their name gets dropped. So if that's all you needed from me, I'll get back to cutie cruising. And no, that wasn't an invitation to flirt. Oh, really? Why, pray tell? Thought so. Look, asshole, I'll explain this once. You want to talk about the hybrid thing? Cool. No one's trying to hide it, and you won't have an easy time avoiding it at this club. But jokes, puns, and worse, assumptions? That will get you blacklisted fast. We don't all have the energy to handhold genotypical people who can't spare 10 seconds to pull out their ROM and look things up. If you try to pet me, your arm is coming off. We clear?
Sorry, did you say genotyp?
Yeah, as in not a hybrid like me. Now then, I'm not here to educate you, and I do have a life to return to. Yeah, alright, whatever.
Hi there. I heard you were looking for me. Yours truly, doll. Although, while I like the attention, it'd be just grand if you didn't holler for me, so I do my share of flirting with both sides of the law. Wouldn't want little old me to get in trouble, huh? Nah, you're fine. Jess is just a mite prickly pear on the outside. She'd probably give hell to most strange folks she hasn't made a deal with. So, to what do I owe the pleasure? Hayden's missing. Well, it's one way to sour my night. I already saw you got his little ROM with you, so I'll give you the benefit of the doubt for now.
Do you know about me? Hayden never mentioned your involvement.
Sure thing, hon. I helped reprogram the back end on your OS so the AI code Hayden wrote for you would work properly with the mesh network.
I have a distressing lack of information on my own creation. Hayden never saw fit to inform me on what went into designing my programming. Is there anything else you can tell me?
Not much more on that end. I'm a crack shot at making the Lips OS dance to my tune, but Hayden's coding in your AI core is a whole different can of worms. Way out of my league. Sorry, doll. Anything else I can help with? Hayden and I met not long after my blackout expired, when he recruited me for my expertise in lips. It puzzled me at the time, since he's very sharp himself. I mean, he could have done the job blindfolded and boozy. I think he just wanted someone working on it off the books. He ain't the most straightforward kind of man. As it suits you, hon. Oh, sure! You may have even heard of me in the news way back when. About 10 years ago, I hacked into Parallax's main ROM servers. Ooh, caused one hell of a stink, if I do say so myself. People were arguing back and forth whether I was a kid genius or malicious criminal. Earned myself an enforced net blackout for a few years, but I think it was worth it for the prestige. Oh, sure, doll. Ask away, dear. I don't know. I didn't really do it to steal anything, but I chalk it up to the exuberance of youth. And that... mostly. Who am I kidding? Sometimes I treat this place like it's my own little bat cave. To see if I could. I mean, Parallax is a mighty big target. Bigger than the government. Raleigh, North Carolina, doll. Sure, it's not the glitziest town in the world, but folks like the way the sun goes down. Still, this ain't a bad town for a southern belle. Lots of clothes. I had to get a third walk-in closet. Of course, hon. Mostly that little bot you got there. Well, I'm sure he had his fingers in lots of pies, but Turin is all I knew about. powerful OS, and it's since been adapted to run on ROMs after they figured out how much more efficient it is. It's focused on learning algorithms, so it can tailor itself to each user's habits, and it functions through using a distributed mesh network for nothing. That's just a fancy way of saying all ROMs connect to all other ROMs within range, and they share all files the user hasn't tagged as private. It's handy in dense population areas like NeoXF, since it can bypass regular telecom nodes to access the internet. Out in the sticks, though, you're stuck connecting to regular old pipes. Yuck. I don't rightly know.
I can't avoid the thought that Hayden's disappearance has something to do with me.
Well, let's see. Hayden was pretty hush-hush about his work on your creation, but it ain't always so good for a big company when their leading product declares independence. I'm certain Hayden had some kind of intellectual property clause written into his contract with him. He would just get fired, maybe even sued. I can't imagine they would disappear him. I mean, they ain't the CIA or anything. Oh, don't you worry about Jeff. She just don't have a lot of patience when talking to genotypical fuck. She's had to deal with it. Because, well... Well, that ain't the most delicate way of putting it, but it makes things tough, you know? Nah, I'd leave her alone if I were you. She's sharp enough on her own, but she's got friends in low places. Well, she does owe me a favor, or 3, but I ain't sure I want to waste one on pulling your foot out of your own rear, you hear? Yeah, I'm not real sure, huh? But it would likely help if we knew why he went missing in the first place. I'll stay here and ask around a bit. People know me, and they sure ain't gonna talk to a newbie like yourself. Why don't you hop back over to Hayden's place and grab the data cache out of his computer for me? We can go over his research notes and see if we can't find a reason for his being vanished. If parallax is involved, there's probably something worth... The data cache would be the best place to start. Good luck. Turin, you keep out of trouble.
Supposed to be another cat joke? I saw you found Tomcat. Among other things, I don't honestly want to talk to you. I'm not here to collect your tears and put you on some path. If you need someone to absolve you of your guilt, go to a confessional, not me. Sure you will. What, do you want a cookie for trying? Don't make it my problem again.
We probably shouldn't...
What are you having? So many drinks these days.
Dictionary, the Open Alcoholopedia says...
Does that sound good? Ah. What are you having? So many drinks these.
Dictionary, the Open Alcoholopedia says...
Does that sound good? Ah, all right.
Halt, citizen. This area has been cordoned off by the Neo-SF Police Department as part of an ongoing investigation. I apologize for the inconvenience. I'm sorry, citizen, but if you would like to leave your contact information with me, I can forward. They may have questions for you. That will not be possible, citizen. The area must be preserved and only authorized Neo-SFPD personnel may enter. I am required by law to inform you that I am set at level 2 guard mode. Any effort to make unauthorized entry will be lethal force sufficient to incapacitate. Authorized to issue the citation of a fine.
Expect the police. I suppose we don't have to hide the fact that... Do you have any ideas on how to get in there and grab that... Who would that be? I found no such connection. Give me a moment. Oh, I see. Detective Lexi Rivers. She used to date your sister. I must have missed that link in your history somehow. You have a very poor net presence. It makes anticipating your needs more difficult. Well, setting aside your unreasonable distaste for tech, her online profile suggests that she might be a considerable boon, since I would prefer to maintain the... Let us go and find Miss Rivers. Oh, right. Should I refresh my protocols for handling titles around Detective Rivers? Done and done. We would... Now lead the way.
Welshman District Police Station, citizen. How may I be of assistance? I believe you are mistaken, citizen. Perhaps...
In my limited experience, I have found that ROMs, much like humans, do not appreciate it when they are told they remind you of...
Please give me a few moments to... Thank you for your patience. Unfortunately, Detective Rivers is out on assignment. You can find her by the Carousel Building in Golden Gate Park, but I will caution you to exert care. She is working an investigation right now, and we are not responsible for your safety should you... Is there anything else I can help? I am not authorized to comment on any ongoing investigations, but the protests outside Genus are a hot heat. Feel free to note the assistance of the Neo San Francisco Police. Is there anything... I apologize, citizen. Is there anything else I... Have a good day, citizen.
Near the children's playground. I don't think we have time to ride it, even though it looks fun. Eucalyptus globulus, the Tasmanian blue gum. It's one of my favorite trees. The clean lines of the leaves and mottled patterns of the bark are interesting. Quite fun to paint, and it's a rather useful. The oil in its leaves can be used as a medical antiseptic or analgesic, boiled into tea, or used as flavor. Even used as a fragrance for many of the trees in this park are excellent specimens of. It's one of the only topics I've permanently committed to my personal memory. Oh, I do. However, I originally started by painting landscapes. My interest in the arts began through Bob Ross's work. It wasn't until recently that I moved on to other. Yes, have you heard of him? During my initial stages of mental growth, Hayden Limit, I had almost a century of public access television to review, and I stumbled upon Mr. Ross's excellent show, The Joy of Painting. He used an easy-to-learn wet-on-wet oil painting technique, and I started to paint along with the episodes. I also find his philosophical views compelling. He often used anecdotal stories from his life to illustrate his opinion. I respect the man quite deeply. I've committed all 403 episodes of the series to my personal memory. Ah, yes. I don't actually store most information on my so most of the information I utilize, I just pull off the meshnet when needed. It's like relearning things over and over again. I'm sure you would find it tedious, but I enjoy making sure my reference tables are up to date in my I mostly store things locally if they are of some critical importance to me, like information pertaining to personal memories or knowledge that would be helpful. Well, as I said, I keep things pertaining. It may seem insignificant, but without the information about Eucalyptus globulus, I'd lack critical details about my painting history and the local area. Sometimes it can be a bit difficult to know what's important and what isn't, but I fear losing parts of myself. So, Eucalyptus globulus stays. I'm cute. The basic ROM form factor is designed to place us firmly outside of the uncanny valley. I can't imagine adoption rates for the technology would have been very high otherwise. Of course, enough about